What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Low Luxury, and welcome to another episode of the Rick Owens rotation, the series where I am adding new pieces to my Rick Owens rotation, a little collection of everyday wear pieces. And today we're looking at a single piece. This is a pair of sneakers, probably one of the most iconic recent footwear silhouettes from Rick Owens. This is the MEGLACE Maximal Runner sneaker. Look at all those laces, my friends. Isn't that just exciting? Anyway, we're going to take a close look at what these sneakers are all about. We'll take a close look at the details, and then we'll try them on. I'll tell you how they feel, how they fit, all that good stuff. So let's dive in. Yo. Before we get too much further, subscribe to the channel. I make tons of luxury and streetwear content. And also, if you're looking for deals on luxury and streetwear, check the description. I've got some of the best sites with all authentic stuff. Check it out. All right, so there we have them. And these are like a variation on the regular Rick Owens runner sneakers. They have the same shape and everything, just kind of minus the laces. And those, I mean, they're fine, but in the grand scheme of Rick Owens sneakers, they're kind of boring. So I'm super glad he took these to the absolute next level, like beyond the next level, and just blasted these out to hell with this crazy futuristic over-the-top silhouette here. It's crazy what just adding some laces can do, isn't it? So I know the laces are going to be kind of distracting, but let's start by talking about the upper that's underneath them. So as you can see, we've got like a black and milk colorway here, and this is a combination of two materials. You've got like a satin, kind of, I'm guessing, nylon going on up here, maybe a polyester of some kind, and then that is contrasted with the milk leather, super smooth leather here. And you can see that the primary color here is the black satin, but then you get these, especially around the vamp here, you get these pieces of white leather. You also get this kind of line going up here, which is very similar to the line, the A-frame that you get with the Geo baskets. And then coming around the back, you get a nice high counter. It really comes up really high, again in that leather. And then around the back here, now it is changed from this nylon here to another leather, this time in black. And then around the outside, that shape is really mirrored here. Look at the stitching, really clean stitching going up on these little A-frames here. And this is pretty hard. Like, you'd think this would be cushioned or padded, but it feels like there's like a piece of plastic inside there, would be my guess. And then this just kind of juts out here. It makes a little bit of space for this lace closure. Like, you see how this milk leather comes around the lace closure here. And it leaves a little gap for this one here. You also get these little cutouts right here with stitching all around and then cut off in the middle. And then you get to the vamp here. So we've got milk leather, black nylon here underneath, and then some more of the black leather underneath this lace closure. And now I think we got to get to the laces themselves, don't we? So there are about 1 million of them. I don't even know where to start. So I guess let's just start at the front right here. So each one of these areas where the laces cross, they are going to have some sort of holder. There are a couple different types. There's this one that's kind of like a buckle of some kind. Feels like a black metal here. And then also in a black metal, you get these kind of nails with these hooks going over as well. So it goes back and forth between the two. You've got the buckle. I don't even know what to call these. The holders, whatever, two of those right next to each other, and then it just turns into a mess of crossing laces over here up at the top. Then around the sides and around the back, it continues mixing back and forth between the two. We've got this buckle here, and note the little black woven holders here. And then sometimes the laces just go right into the shoes, as you can see in these areas. Got a holder right up here, but then this other kind right over here. Buckle, loop, let's call these loops right there, yeah. And then around the back, one more of these buckles, but this one is upside down, which is a good thing to notice. And these go right under into the bottom of the shoe. I don't even understand really how that works. You can see it happening here as well. I guess it's going right under the nylon and getting sewn in some way before they put on this sole right here. Really crazy. So I've got to tell you, even after looking at all of that, and I've looked at it a lot, I don't fully understand how this lacing system works, and I hope I never have to relace this thing ever in my entire life because I feel like it would be a nightmare, but I'm glad it's already set up for me because it does look real cool. And now let's talk about the sole, starting with this midsole here. So we already looked at it a little bit, but this feels like a foam of some kind, like an EVA foam or something like that, in a kind of gray color, I would say. Very, very light gray. It's really at its fattest over here, as you can see before this comes back up. So right about there, it's at its fattest. And then it tapers off right to the end where you get a slight curve going. And then it juts out right there at the vamp, and it flips up a little bit as well before mimicking the same on the outside. Also note how this kind of comes out as well right there. And then you get a big flip up at the back, a little tail there, kind of like a spoiler, if you will. And you'll also note on the bottom of this, it's got your classic Rick Owens kind of like shark tooth pattern here. These little triangular cutouts that face towards the back of the shoe. And then the bottom here, right at the top, you get a little bit of flat piece, but then the rest of it is those shark teeth. And then towards the back, you get that Rick Owens script pressed into the rubber. And finally, let's take a look at the tongue and then the inside of the shoe. So, as you can see, we get this pull tab right here, which is like a weave. I'm guessing a cotton weave. It's stitched down twice right here, making this kind of, I don't know, you can see it kind of grabs the padding in the tongue and puckers it a little bit. You've also got some really nice stitching going around the outside and inside of this, giving it a bit of a shape. You can see some kind of hard angles here around the edges as well. So of course this is the nylon on the outside, but if we then take a look at the inside, we have turned into leather. That pull tab continues in the back here and it ends right down there. And as you can see right inside in gray, or maybe silver, I guess you could call it, you have the size down there and model number and everything. This is a 43, and we'll definitely talk more about sizing in just a little bit here. As we can see, this back counter on the outside, it is that milk leather, and on the inside, it is black. And again, that comes up quite high. Both of these pretty much even in height, the tongue and the counter. It kind of looks like a seat in a race car or something if you really think about it. And this is really nice and well cushioned, really soft and actually comfortable to wear, I will say. And then we get to the inside of the shoe. So what do we have for an insole here? So this insole is cemented in. That's not coming out or going anywhere. But you can see that it's black and it has that Rick Owens script logo pressed into it. Man, what a pair of sneakers these are.
All right, now that we've seen all of those details, it's time to try these shoes on.
Oof, where to begin with these? Man, they're cool. I could see them being a bit much for some people, but I'm all about the weird stuff, so I'm also all about these. Let's start off by talking about the fit. So as we saw, these ones are tagged a size 43, which generally translates to a US men's 10. And at least in the past, I've felt like Rick Owens sneakers fit a little bit big. There's a bit of room in them. But these are quite snug. They've got quite a bit of padding in them, and they really grab your feet quite a bit. So if anything, I would say these fit just a tiny bit small, which is something that I wanted to note because that's actually a bit out of the norm for Rick Owens sneakers. But what about the comfort level? How do they feel? Really effing good, you guys. Really, really good. There's a lot of cushion in that insole, a lot more than I was expecting, and all around the sides, there's all sorts of padding and cushioning around the sides and top of the foot that just grab you in there. You feel really tight, secure, but also a lot of softness with each step, which is kind of not something you get a lot in luxury sneakers. A lot of the times those tend to be a bit hard, I've found. Another thing in common this has with other Rick Owens sneakers is it does have a little bit of curve to that sole. The toe curves up just a little bit, and that means that you get a full strike with each step. It decreases the vamping. It makes there be a bit less creasing at the vamp over time, although you may note here that there is a bit of creasing happening at that leather up at the top, and that's unfortunate. It just kind of makes the sneakers look more worn as you go on, but the curve does help mitigate that somewhat. So overall, I thought these sneakers were just going to be a really good pickup for the looks, but I'm actually finding them incredibly comfortable, which I wasn't expecting. So I could see myself wearing these much more often than even I was expecting to. And if you're trying to add something to the rotation, as I am with these, that is always a really good thing. So those are the Rick Owens Maximal runners. Take a look at the other video on screen here, subscribe to my channel, like this video, and I'll see you next time.